Alright, quick update on ApeCoin. So it looks like we've had a massive rally since my last video when we were down here just around the $11. So let's talk about what's going on. So in the past 8 hours, the market structure, I don't want to say it's changed necessarily, because if we're looking at these local highs that we've got here, here, and here, this is still technically a lower high from where we were right here. So for me to become bullish on ApeCoin, I'd really like to see a break back above 1281. But you know, looking at this in these smaller time frames, we've obviously found strong resistance where this head and shoulders is that we've been talking about now. We haven't come down quite so close to the price target, but you can see we had a breakdown of this before, we back tested it, had a lower low, and now we're coming back up to back test it again. So keep in mind, this is still a lower high. I'm still very 50-50 on whether we're going to come down to the 786 Fibonacci. I was predicting a move down to 969, but with what's going on in the past 4 hours, we've seen a lot of volume coming in, and also the squeeze mom momentum indicator has switched back over to the bullish side. We didn't have this data when I made my last video, so we have started to head up, and I think drawing this, it may have come down to the 618, eyeballing this. Yeah, that was a pretty good eyeball. So I mean, we came pretty much down to the 618, so I mean, technically speaking, we could have bottomed, but for me personally, to get bullish again in the short term on ApeCoin, I'd really like to see this, you know, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high structure being validated. And you know, for me personally, I don't think we can be out of the woods until we get above 1282. Now I'm really sitting on the sidelines for this because I still do see that we're heading down. Sure, we could have a big reversal coming anytime soon, but I have been talking about how I believe it's possible for Bitcoin to have a quick flush out to the 40,000. Now, the momentum indicators are really calling for it. On the daily squeeze mom, we are starting to head down and lose momentum. You can see the daily EMA ribbons, we are below the short-term moving average. So while we're hovering around, you know, this 43,000 ribbon, these estimated moving averages, they're going to start to head down, and on the daily we could flip bearish, but with what's going on the 4 hour, you can kind of see we're struggling right now to get above the short-term moving average. Now this doesn't mean that we can't break bullish, it really just means to me that until we get above 44,000, I think it's pretty similar for the daily, yeah, 44,000 on the daily, it might be a little bit higher on here, but yeah, I mean 44,000 really. I'd like to see Bitcoin push strongly above 44,000. That, in my opinion, that would give the squeeze momentum indicator enough room to flip back to the bullish side, and then we might not have to come all the way down to 40,000. But I still do see it as a possible scenario. So for me personally, I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines for ApeCoin until Bitcoin has decided that, you know, we've put in our lower high, and this could very much be where the lower high is, around here at 42.5, and we could have a move to the upside. That's why I've said in my previous Bitcoin videos I would not be shorting this down to 40,000, but nonetheless, Bitcoin's momentum indicators are pushing for a move to the downside. And the stock market is, I mean, it still looks pretty good, but I could see us potentially having a quick flush down. That would definitely bring Bitcoin down, and I think that could potentially bring Ape, I mean, at least back down to this 618 or 786. So the 786, the price target we've got down here at 969, it is still on the table. I think we can cross this out as a possible scenario once we start having solid breaks above, I'd say 1236, because this was really strong resistance when we were both emming out, and we have the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern here. So either way, strong break above the neckline of $12.36. That would be good for the market structure. And then also we could see the 4 hourly EMA ribbon start to fire, potentially bullish in the next day or so. But really, I don't think we're necessarily fully out of the blue until we take out this previous local high. So I've got my eyes on 1280 to 1236. This little range that we've got going on right here, I see this being strong resistance either way. So really just a quick update to let you know the market structure is starting to look very healthy. This could be the bottom for ApeCoin, and you know, specifically because I drew this to the candle body close, you can see, I mean, we bottomed at the 618, so this could be the bottom. I'm not ruling out that this could be the bottom, but I'm also not ruling out the possibility of a move back down to 969. I think it's still very likely for Bitcoin, and until Bitcoin breaks above 44,000, I don't think we can be out of the clear for Bitcoin, which means that we can't be out the clear for the altcoin. So I'm really sitting on the sidelines. I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm not leverage trading these altcoins right now. I'm really looking for a position to get in once Bitcoin has kind of shown me that we have bottomed and we can be more sure that we're going to be able to, you know, make a 10x leverage and not get wiped out. So that's my thoughts on ApeCoin. It is starting to look undeniably good. In the past 8 hours, we've really started to shoot up, get nice volume in, and the squeeze momentum is starting to head up. So, you know, I've kind of got to change my tone a bit when new data comes in. But I did just want to highlight, we're really not out the blue until we do take out this red box. And, you know, we could be taking this out in the next day or so. I'm not saying that we can't. I'm just saying this is going to be strong resistance, in my opinion, until we take out 1280, which is this previous local high. Then, you know, we do still have a formation of, you know, highs, lower highs, and then, you know, lower lows. So I mean, this structure's still very much in play. Could we see a move back down to 969? Yeah, I'm definitely not ruling it out. Could we explode past the 1281 and go on a massive rally? Sure, we could. But for me personally, I don't think we have enough confluence coming in that we could short this to the downside. And I also don't think it's necessarily safe to long this or accumulate until we're back over 1280. Once we have a strong break above 1280, I'd like to see, you know, a couple of 4-hourly closes at least. Not necessarily a daily close, because I mean, if we come over to the daily, this really hasn't been out for too long. But I do like how we have this kind of lower high down here. I wouldn't call this a W, but nonetheless, we are kind of Wing out. So I still have, you know, this price target down here, 969, in mind. It could still definitely get tagged. I'm not discounting it. But if we do want to discount this theory, then, you know, 1281, it really needs to get taken out. Otherwise, we're still in a lower high trajectory. So that is all I see for ApeCoin. 1280 needs to be taken out very soon. Otherwise, we could see this being a potential local top before we do have a reversal, just like we did in this scenario here, and this scenario here, and here. So I've got my eyes on this. I'll update you when we make a decision. Nonetheless, very simply, keep your eyes on 1280. A strong break above there, in my opinion, then this will be the bottom. But if we start having a push down again, start coming down to the $11 region, then I've got to assume that 969 is going to get tagged. So that's all I see for ApeCoin. I become bullish once we take out 1280. Just my opinion, not financial advice. And yeah, cowboy out. Peace.